So what do you think of that Chery Tiggo 7 Pro's virtual launch last night? That was pretty awesome, yeah? I mean, getting those testimonials from the car reviewers, that was pretty lit. Oh, we're rolling? All right, let's do this. When I filmed my pre-launch video of the all-new Chery Tiggo 7 Pro, I was a little bit excited by how much it has transformed from the previous generation. And just when I thought that its new design language was already eye-catching, they sent me this. Friends, this is the full production model of the all-new Chery Tiggo 7 Pro. And you can have it in teal. Let's do this. Hello guys, I'm Reagan and welcome back to another car review. If you're new to my channel, I hope you hit that subscribe button and become part of the Reagan Strides family. If you're my subscriber already, thank you so much for your support by watching this video. I also hope that you give it a like. Also special thanks to Chery Auto Philippines for entrusting us with this all-new Chery Tiggo 7 Pro in teal. Now if you have any questions or inquiries about the entire Chery lineup, or if you want to inquire about this gorgeous Chery Tiggo 7 Pro, I'll put their hotline number in my description below. The Chery Tiggo 7 Pro is dead serious about taking on the biggest and the best in the compact crossover segment because they practically threw in everything in the T7 Pro except the kitchen sink. Can I call it T7 Pro? Yeah? We got clearance for that? Alright, cool. Sounds more badass. Good looks, tech, and cabin amenities. Chery Auto Philippines managed to cram it all in the all-new Tiggo 7 Pro. Now, normally when you add a ton of features, the price would also skyrocket, but that's not the case when it comes to this all-new model. You see, Chery Auto managed to rein in the price because this all-new Tiggo 7 Pro has an introductory price of only 1,198,000 Philippine pesos. I sound like a game show host. Anyway, so that's only 3,000 Philippine pesos more expensive than the outgoing model, and it's priced at the same level as some of the subcompact crossover offerings in the local market. Now, despite this low pricing, the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro is fully loaded, and it also comes with the longest warranty and after-sales support that you can find in the local market. All Tiggo models come with a 10-year or a 1 million kilometer engine warranty. You've got a 5-year or 150,000 kilometers general vehicle warranty. That's bumper to bumper, guys. And you also get a free 3-year preventive maintenance service package with roadside assistance, with home service. I mean, my goodness, wow. So when it comes to the price and the warranty and after-sales support, the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro is off to a great start. Normally, you'd throw in a great price and an awesome warranty if the car is so ugly that the only way people will buy it is because of that. The thing is, the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro has the looks that will make other crossovers drool with envy. First up, the color. Man, the color! This is teal. Now, it may appear a little bit bluish on your screen, but trust me guys, in person it's more like a blue-green rather than a blue. Now, on my way to this location, I was getting a lot of stares from bystanders and other drivers on the road because, wow, this color is truly vibrant. I mean, I was getting a little bit self-conscious already while driving this thing going here, and that's coming from a guy who drives a top-down Miata. Now, the color is playful and vibrant, and it's a far cry from the black and white crossovers that you can find on the highway. I mean, commuting itself is boring already, so imagine if you're driving down the highway in this Tiggo 7 Pro in this color, and wow, man, you are going to bring a lot of smiles in a lot of people's faces. Now, the color may be on the playful side, but the front fascia of this Tiggo 7 Pro is all business. Gone are the xenon headlights that can be found in the older previous generation Tiggo 7. Instead, we get here a full LED matrix headlights. Well, that's what Chery Auto calls it. And that these headlights are truly gorgeous. Now, they also have a neat party trick. You see the front turn signals are sequential, a premium feature that could normally be found in pricier crossovers. Now, you also get this large hexagonal front grille here that is in a glossy black diamond finish, and it's quite gorgeous to look at, guys. However, you don't get any LED fog lights anymore in the Tiggo 7 Pro. Instead, you get LED DRLs here at the bottom part, which we first saw in the pre-launch unit. You see, Chery Auto deemed that their matrix LED headlights are powerful enough that you don't need actual fog lights. Now, when you look at the whole front fascia of this Chery Tiggo 7 Pro, it has that truly elegant European vibe to it that could hold its own against pricier crossovers. The Chery Tiggo 7 Pro is built on the T1X platform, which was co-developed with Jaguar Land Rover. Now, when you look at the side profile, you can definitely see the Range Rover influence here. The body gets these nice chiseled lines and bulges on your front and rear fenders. The D-pillar is also a floating roof design, and it also has this nice upward kink down here at the bottom. Now, for your side mirrors, you get power folding side mirrors that are heated, and they also have LED side repeaters. We no longer get those quirky turn signals that are found on the doors of the outgoing Tiggo 7, since they have migrated to a more logical position. Now, for your wheels and tires, you get 18-inch wheels that are wrapped in 225/60 R18 Yokohama Geolandar tires. No siree, you won't find any Batman tires on the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro. Behind those wheels, you get four-wheel disc brakes, and for your suspension setup, you have a MacPherson system up front and an independent multi-link rear suspension at the rear end. Ground clearance is a healthy 190 millimeters, which is perfect for our not-so-good roads. Now, the rear end shares in the same look as the larger Tiggo 8 Lux EX, most notably the shape of the LED taillights and the LED center garnish found here. Now, check this out, guys. I love how Chery Auto ringed their 7 Pro emblem in red, which shows you the playful character of the Tiggo 7 Pro. However, one tiny disappointment that I found here are these gorgeous twin exhaust pipes that are found on the rear bumper. As gorgeous as they are, these are not functional tailpipes, but rather you will find the real tailpipe underneath the car, similar to what we found in the Ford Territory. The thing is, well, the good thing is, the Tiggo 7 Pro is the only compact crossover in its price segment that is equipped with a power liftgate. That's right, that is one huge advantage, especially when you normally carry a lot of stuff. Now, when you look at the trunk space, you get 475 liters of trunk capacity, and we'll see how that translates to my luggage test. This is my medium-sized luggage, and let's see how many of these we can fit here. Putting this in this position, you'll see that you could put a first one, a second one, and you still have a little bit of room to spare. Now, if you need more space than 475 liters, you could fold down the second row seats, and that will give you access to 1,500 liters of trunk capacity. However, the second row seats don't fold flat to the floor, so you might want to also take that into consideration. The Tiggo 7 Pro is equipped with the same engine that can be found in the previous generation. The thing is, you couldn't really see it here because Chery Auto decided to put a massive engine cover here, but underneath this engine cover, you'll find a 1.5-liter turbo petrol engine that can do 145 horses and 210 Newton meters of torque. Now, what's changed here is the transmission. As I mentioned in my pre-launch video, Chery decided to do away with a 6-speed dry dual clutch transmission and instead equip this with a CVT that has 9 simulated gears. Now, power is sent to the front wheels because this is a front-wheel drive. We don't get an all-wheel drive option here in the local market. Now, during the week that I've had the T7 Pro, my fuel economy was a little bit on the thirsty side. Now, I was doing around 8 in the city and 12 in the highway, and that's probably due to multiple factors. Number one of which is the fact that this unit only has 500 kilometers on the odometer, so it's still in the break-in period. Plus the fact that I never used eco mode and I'm always in sport mode, so yeah, and you guys know how I love to drive fast. So those might be the reasons why I only got 8 in the city and 12 in the highway. Now, before we go inside the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro, I'm going to show you the key. This is the key of the Tiggo 7 Pro, and as you can see, it's nice, wide, and flat. It just got 3 buttons here to open your trunk, close and unlock and lock your door. So it doesn't have the smartwatch key that can be found in the Chery Tiggo 8, but it does have a nifty feature, and that's a remote engine start. So you see, you could just remote start the engine just by pressing the lock button for 3 seconds. As you can see, we've started the engine and we've also started the climate control, so no more hot leather seats whenever you're parked out in the hot open sun. Now, when you hop inside the cabin of the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro, you'll notice that it's quite a familiar cabin because this is exactly the same cabin as the larger Tiggo 8 Lux EX. However, in my video of the pre-production model, we saw some red leather accents on the middle dashboard, but we don't see any of that here in the final production model. However, you still get red stitching on your seats and also red piping. So that one, we saw that in the pre-production model, and it's also here in the current final production Chery Tiggo 7 Pro. Now the seats are wrapped in leather, and you'd be happy to know that despite the low pricing, both front passenger and driver seats get power adjustability, with the driver getting power adjustable lumbar support. So that is pretty nice, especially for people with a bum lower back. Now when you look at your steering wheel, you have here a nicely leather wrapped steering wheel with a flat bottom for that sporty flavor, and you also have hands-free buttons here, and also cruise control, which is a really good feature to have, especially at its price point of below 1.2 million Philippine pesos. Now if you're a taller driver, you'd be happy to know that the T7 Pro's steering wheel adjusts for tilt and telescoping. So when you pair that with a power adjustable driver seat, finding the perfect driving position will be quite a cinch. Now when you look at the instrument gauge here, you'll see that the gauges are similar to the ones found in the Tiggo 8 Lux EX. This is a 7-inch LED display here, and this display also changes depending on the drive mode that you're in. You see the T7 Pro has two drive modes. You got an eco mode and a sport mode, and if you're in eco mode, the color of your gauges is in a nice blue color, while if you're in sport mode, you get a nice red color. Now I was a little bit bummed out that we don't have an in-betweener there, but upon driving this past week, well, the Tiggo 7 Pro doesn't really need the normal mode, because the eco mode of this crossover is pretty usable, and the sport mode is also quite peppy. Granted, I stayed in sport mode most of the time that I was driving this thing. Now when you move to your infotainment system, you have here a large 10.25-inch touchscreen infotainment system that has a really good resolution. It has Apple CarPlay, but it doesn't have Android Auto. Now that's a little bit of a bummer for me since I'm an Android phone user, but the great thing here is the 360-degree view camera that they added here in the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro. See, the pre-launch unit didn't have a 360-degree view camera, it's just a reverse camera, but all the final production units have a fantastic 360-degree view camera, and I must say, guys, that wow, this 360-degree view camera is one of the best in the business. It's as clear as the ones we found in some of the Geely crossovers out there and even the Ford Territory. It is that good. It also comes with a nifty 3D mode feature, so that is also a pretty cool touch. Now when you look at your start-stop button here, it is nicely finished in metal, and you also have the same layout basically as the Tiggo 8 Lux EX. You also have here your physical buttons for your infotainment system, so that is also pretty cool. At least it will be easier to navigate through your system. Now when you go down to your climate control area here, you have here well, glossy piano black finish that houses your climate control systems, and it's pretty similar to the one found in the Tiggo 8 Lux EX, except you lose out on the couple of dials that we get here. Instead, you have a couple of haptic feedback buttons that will adjust your climate control. Now, take your attention to the gear shifter, because this is the first time that I've seen a Chery Tiggo model with an electronic joystick for a gear shifter. This is normally found in more premium European luxury car offerings and also some of the models from Geely. So it's also nice to see that the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro now has an electronic gear shifter here. We also have our electronic parking brake with an auto hold feature, and I love how they place the wireless charging pad here. You see, the placement of the wireless charging pad of the T7 Pro makes it look like when you put your smartphone there, it makes your smartphone look like it's part of the entire center tunnel's controls. This is because of that vast expanse of a piano glossy black plastic finish that we can find here in the middle. Now, while this looks really good, especially when you have a smartphone parked there, well, it will not age very well, guys. While it's new, it looks fantastic. But as your Tiggo 7 Pro ages, well, this area here will be a magnet for dust, fingerprints, and scratches galore. So yeah, nice to look at, but it's going to have a lot of scratches in the future. Now you also have your buttons here for your drive modes, and we have a smallish cup holder here that I'm pretty sure will fail my clean canteen test. It is quite small, and as you can see, pink, it fails. It doesn't really hit the bottom, so it's a fail. It fits it, but it doesn't hit the bottom. The thing is, Chery Auto probably watches my videos and they know that I have a clean canteen test. So what they did with the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro is they included a larger cup holder hidden underneath those two small cup holders, and this larger cup holder can easily accommodate my clean canteen. As you can see, it's deep enough and it's large enough to accommodate my clean canteen, so it passes the test with full flying colors. And the great thing here, guys, is this area is also a cool box, so if you want to keep your drinks cold, well, you can just park it right here. You also have a nice leather wrap center armrest here that also has that nice cubby that goes into your cool box. So yeah, when you look at the cockpit area of the Tiggo 7 Pro, man, this place is quite premium. I love how they wrapped all the high traffic areas with soft touch materials. The tops of your dashboard are wrapped in leather. The middle dashboard has a different material, but it's still leather, guys, different quality leather. The tops of your door cards and even the inserts of your door panels are all wrapped in leather. I mean, wow. If there's one thing that I know about these Chinese car makers, it's they know how to make really fantastic cabin areas. Crazy. Even the dome light is finished in a jewel-like finish. Wow. The Tiggo 7 Pro is one of the smaller compact crossovers out there in the local market, and as such, well, the back seat is a little bit smaller than some of its rivals in the local market. Now, having said that, guys, it still gets the job done. I'm 5'6", and as you can see, I got around 6 inches of knee room before my knee touches the seat back of the driver. This is, by the way, my driving position. And the good thing here is I have 6 inches of headroom even if I have a panoramic sunroof. Now, that's another great thing about this Tiggo 7 Pro. Despite the affordable pricing, we still get a really nifty looking and large panoramic sunroof here for that added premium feel and that added atmosphere here in the back seat. Now, this Tiggo 7 Pro may be a little bit smaller than, let's say, the Ford Territory or the Mazda CX-5, but it doesn't scrimp when it comes to toys. At the back seat, you get a couple of rear AC vents. You've got a solo USB port here, a center armrest with a couple of cup holders, ISOFIX anchors, and a feature that you couldn't find in any of these other compact crossovers that I mentioned. You also get leatherette floor mats with a nice contrast red stitching for that added sporty and racy feel. Now, if you're kind of concerned that you might get these nice looking leather floor mats dirty, well, you don't have to fear anything because it also comes with this nice matte insert that will catch all the dust, the mud, and all the debris and make sure that your leatherette floor mats look really nice and clean all the time. Wow, that is really thoughtful, guys. Alright, so we're now behind the wheel of the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro, and oh boy, guys, what a treat. So first up, the seats. The seats of the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro are nicely supportive and they also have good bolsters on the side. Now the good thing here, guys, is despite the bolsters, it's not really that tight. So even if you're larger than I am, well, you wouldn't have any issues at all when it comes to the seats of the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro. The seats are not really ventilated though, but at least they still give you good support, and I love the fact that you have an electronically adjustable lumbar support. So yes, those are plus points for the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro. Now when it comes to the steering feel, I love how the Tiggo 7 Pro's steering feel has been tuned. You see, Chery knows a thing or two when it comes to tuning their steering wheels, and the Tiggo 7 Pro has a really nice feedback to it. As you can see, I'm going around this rotunda, and well, at slow parking lot speeds like what we're going through now, the steering feedback is a little bit on the light side with some heft tuned into it. Now the good thing here is when you reach the highway, when you're at highway speeds, well, the steering feedback gets a little bit heavier. So that gives you more of a sense of control over your Tiggo 7 Pro, and that should make for a better overall driving experience. Now when it comes to visibility, guys, I love the fact that I'm seated a little bit higher up here in the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro. So despite being just a compact crossover, I get a feeling as if I'm driving a much taller vehicle. And I also love the fact that the tops of the door cards aren't really that high, and the dashboard is also a little bit mounted lower. So for short people like myself, as I mentioned, I'm 5'6", guys, driving the Tiggo 7 Pro wouldn't be quite a challenge. It's going to be quite easy to drive this even if you're vertically challenged like myself. And I also love the fact that I could still see the hood despite having a lower dashboard. So the way they designed this thing, it's really quite friendly for vertically challenged people like myself. Now when it comes to its suspension tuning and ride quality, well, the Tiggo 7 Pro is a compact crossover, and as such you could expect compact crossover levels of refinement when it comes to ride quality. That means that the road imperfections are all soaked up. You don't really feel too much bumps on the road. So yeah, and there's really not much suspension play going on when you're going through a not so perfect cemented road that we have here. Now let's say we take a curvy road like this a little bit faster than normal, and the good thing about the Tiggo 7 Pro is despite that soft suspension, you don't get too much body roll in this crossover. See, I'm taking this deserted curvy road at a fast clip, and yes, there is some body roll, but it's not exaggerated. It's not too much, and I love that about the Tiggo 7 Pro. It reminds me of some of the crossovers from, let's say, Mazda, and you know, those guys know a thing or two about tuning suspensions. So yeah, I love the fact that the Tiggo 7 Pro has some pretty fantastic suspension tuning. Wow. Now speaking of being sporty, well, as I mentioned, this now has a CVT transmission. So it's no longer a dual clutch transmission, it's now a CVT. So how much of a penalty did the CVT take when it comes to, well, driving performance? Well, I'm quite surprised, guys, because I'm now in sport mode, and I can show you that despite the CVT, it could still accelerate pretty well. The acceleration is decent. It's not something that I have to wait a second or two before it puts the hammer down. Nope. It senses my heavy foot on the gas pedal and gives me the goods. Wow. Yeah, so despite having a CVT, this is also one of the better tuned CVTs that are found in the local market now. It's pretty comparable to the CVT that I found in the Ford Territory, in fact. Well, that would be quite an interesting comparo, guys. Imagine comparing the Ford Territory Titanium and the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro. Wow. Now that is something that I love to see. Would you like to see that? Let me know in the comments below. Now when it comes to safety features, well, the Tiggo 7 Pro is no slouch. Aside from the dual airbags that can be found up front, you also have side airbags, and you also have your alphabet soup of safety features. You've got ABS with EBD, you've got traction control, stability control, hill start assist, hill descent control. You also have this nifty little safety feature that will apply more brake force if, well, more brake force is needed when you need to go for a full stop. There's also a nifty feature where if you're turning to the left or to the right, well, your 360-degree view camera activates just to show you your blind spots and just to make sure that, well, you don't turn into anything nasty. Now, those are some pretty nifty safety features of the Tiggo 7 Pro. Now, in terms of NVH, well, I gotta say, guys, that this crossover has some pretty fantastic NVH levels. Being a crossover, well, you don't really get too much noise, vibration, and harshness inside the cabin. And I love the fact that they put in Yokohamas as the tires for the Tiggo 7 Pro. When I went on the highway, you could hardly hear any highway noise, and that's a great thing. This compact crossover has some pretty premium levels of NVH. Now overall, guys, the Chery Tiggo 7 Pro has fully grown up. From a strappy, quirky little compact crossover, this Tiggo 7 Pro now sports a mature, refined ride, and it's one of the easiest compact crossovers to drive in the local market. The Chery Tiggo 7 Pro is undoubtedly the most handsome-looking Chery crossover in the lineup today. It's a solid combination of good looks, a decent drive, and enough tech and cabin amenities that will please the touchscreen generation. Chery managed to do this while keeping the price point at an attractive level and also while offering us the best warranty and after-sales program in the business. Now, if you still don't find that as a fantastic deal, well then, you're missing out, man. You're missing out. Thanks for watching.